Trump and this thing called MAGA will absolutely, positively, without a doubt, obliterate and smash the radical left into smithereens. It's absolutely true. And I'm seeing it right now. I'm seeing it as we speak in so many different ways. The radical left, the people that we call the left, are hanging on desperately to whatever it is they think they believe. I'm going to give you an example of something, because when you start your day off, I want you to always to think about, don't look at the usual suspect things. Don't look at the usual stories. It's almost like, you can go the Fox News route, you can go more esoteric, but I like to step back and look at other things. Let me give you an example. The Democratic Party that we talk about really doesn't exist. And the Democratic Party that we talk about doesn't exist. We're talking about more of like the social angle, if you will. I don't know what the word is. Give an example. There was this move on the part of the left, sometimes mirrored by the Democratic Party, to all of a sudden rebrand and push. First it was a gay agenda, then it was a trans agenda, and then there was this, everything was biracial. Every commercial, everything from Verizon to soda commercial, whatever it is, always had usually a black father, maybe a white mom, I don't know. You didn't see, well, it's hard to say. I don't know, but it was this, everything was interracial. Everything was interracial. Okay. For reasons that, and we knew, and it was so obvious, and it was phony. It was phony. Okay. Then, interesting, then that kind of transmuted and that transmogrified into other versions of this. And then we said, well, let's forget this. Let's move. Let me see. Let's move out of this biracial, interracial, and just go to black only. Even though for the most particular aspects it's ridiculous. What am I talking about? The last vestige, the last bastion, the last area of any kind of attempt at this is Broadway. Broadway is that Japanese soldier who doesn't know the war is over. The Japanese, I don't know what the word is. Broadway doesn't know where. Broadway lives in La La Land, always has. And that's why it's doing terribly. West End, London's doing much better because they have more of a pace. Broadway has to represent, to an extent, to reflect the sensibilities of the people. Broadway during World War II, it was more of a diversion. So was Hollywood, but it was a diversion. Get away from the horrors of the war and whatever. Okay. Well, last night there was the opening, of Gypsy, and basically an all black cast. And is that okay? Whatever you say. Is it legal? Of course it's legal. You do whatever you want. It's a free country. Is it going to work? No. Brand new Lionel mugs. Selling like crazy. Okay. Is it going to work? No. Is it a deliberate attempt to force an American Broadway musical classic, Gypsy Rose, Gypsy Pet? Yes. Is it going to convert to the black audience? No. Do black audiences make a high percentage of Broadway? No. Is this an experiment? Yes. Were most of the celebrities who were there last night to see it, were they paid? Almost guaranteed. This is the last gasp, the last attempt, the last chance, the last Japanese soldier to understand it's over. They had their ducks in a row. Everything was lined up. Trump won. And now you're seeing kind of the end of, while we've gone this. It's over with. It's done. And it's so forced, so staged, so it's somebody saying, I'm going to force blackness, negritude, whatever you want, I'm going to force fit something to say, see, now it's a black production. I'm going to take M. Butterfly next. I'm going to make them all Puerto Ricans. I'm going to take, it's like that farce called Hamilton, which is a joke. Had nothing to do with history. But I'm going to do it as Puerto Rican, hip, black. I'm just going to change it. Let me give you an example of something, and remember this. A friend of mine years ago, was involved in Renaissance fairs. Did you remember that? It might have been big in the 80s. I don't know, 80s, 90s. But they would go around the country, and they would go to like in Sarasota, they had like near the Ringling Art Museum. There would be this field, and they would have jousting and Renaissance and Knights of the Round Table and all this stuff. Okay. And it was good, and people would do juggling, and they would stay in their costume. Hello, my lady, and all this stuff. They were annoyed at it. But it was fun with the tights and the whole bit. And okay. So this guy I knew went and took it to inner city, or excuse me, not inner city, but into an urban part of Chicago, to an area with predominantly black citizens who walked in, and they said, "What the is this? What is this?" He goes, "Well, it's Renaissance." What's Renaissance? It had no relevance to them. They were not a part of the Renaissance. They weren't. That's. I wasn't a part of the Renaissance. But the point is, it wasn't part of their worldview. But the person who ran it never thought about it. What am I saying? When you force feed culture, we're going to take interracial this, and we're going to shove it down their throat. Everything's going to be interracial. Or we're going to take bastions of American little bull beep, or we're going to make it black. Or we're going to take this or black. And we're going to take by the way, this, you've got to see this thing on Hulu. See the transmogrification in the history of American fashion and how that, or the fashion world itself. But you see how this thing culturally works. This thing is going to be a dog. It's going to close. It's whatever. It's this last chance of the Broadway lefties who only exist in this world that they think it's about them. The people who are still making the movie money, Wicked, maybe Book of Mormon, Lion King. I mean, just the mainstays. You are in the middle of a revolution here. You are seeing this, and they are fighting tooth and nail. They're fighting it at the social level, the news level, the informational level, the political level, maybe not the musical level, but it was absolutely one of the most important and fascinating worlds around. Absolutely. And it was something which was so important and so critical and so, I guess you would say so. It's hard to say what the word is, but it's interesting. So what I want you to do is I want you to remember that in addition to your job as a, your job as a political analyst or observer, always make sure you pay attention to what's going on socially. Always make sure you understand what's going on in fashion, music, and this, and books, and entertainment, and sports, and what's happening in the world. Watch this Jay-Z, watch this Diddy, watch what's happening, watch LeBron James, watch everything. Your job is not to watch Fox News and say, hey, did you hear what Crenshaw is doing? And the guy with the eye patch, and they're going to I mean, that's important. You want the big picture. At the fall of the Soviet Union, I've told you, it was specifically known, and it was said that the KGB used to send out its agents to collect jokes. They have to know what people are thinking. And you always look to see what's entertainment. You go through, if you want to see what a country is, look at their garbage. Look what they throw away. Look what they don't keep. Look what they eat. Your job is to be immersive. Your job is not to allow Fox News to determine, okay, this is what you're going to do. Think Spotify, not AM radio. AM radio is dead. Radio is dead. Music radio is really dead. Because the idea of somebody creating a music list for you is absurd. It's absurd. None of it makes any sense. It's from a past. Remember, when people's arms, when people have a limb that becomes necrotic or gangrenous or whatever, and it needs to be lopped off, it doesn't necessarily lose feeling on day one. It doesn't turn color on day one. It seems somewhat functional, but it's dead. It's dying. And that's what the world is going. You have to recognize this. This is an important and critical thing. You're on the precipice of a revolution, the likes of which you can't even imagine. When you thoroughly understand what AI means, you'll be gobsmacked. Absolutely, positively. The world is enormous. I did a brand new newsletter, whatever, and there's this phrase people are throwing around. It's called Musk derangement syndrome. It's Trump derangement, and now it's Musk. And people are going berserk with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is our George Soros. Elon Musk is our Klaus Schwab. Nobody minded them. Left didn't mind. The left never cared about Klaus Schwab. Never cared about Soros. Never cared about the G7. Never cared about Bilderberg. Never cared about anything. They said, well, those are people who are merely, involved. Never cared about Bill Gates sticking his nose. And if I can, I want to turn you on to somebody who is absolutely, I am her biggest fan and cannot get enough. I'm catching everything she's ever said. And I want you to be aware of this and watch her. Her name is Angela Collier. She is a theoretical physicist. She is so good, destroying Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, Richard Feynman. I love the fact that she goes and destroys and decimates sacred cows. I love when somebody comes along and says, the emperor has no clothes. This is stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Everybody thinks they know physics. Everybody thinks they know string theory. Eric Weinstein, as full of beans as he is pretty good when it comes to this. So keep an eye on that. So there's this thing that's going on right now, which is so fascinating. They're going crazy, crazy, crazy. And that's the most important thing to say. Now, this morning I saw something which was so good, I want to share this with you. Somebody asked the question. I love this. It said, does anyone know why the link to this video cannot be sent to anyone via text message, blah, blah, blah? And then someone responded. It was very good. Someone said, basically, I think, did you do some? I think it's a, did you do what Lionel asked and look it up or Google it? I thought it was fantastic. That is so perfect. So perfect. Someone wrote, what's a smithereen? I guarantee you nobody investigated. Nobody. Why? This is the thing you can't understand. There's nobody has this burning desire to get to the question. There's no burning anything anymore. None. You were sitting back, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but you are sitting back the victim of what a lot of kids in school have. because their world has always been swiping something or opening up an iPad where something is coming at them, lights, music, motion, cartoons, whatever it is, this is coming at them like that. They're not able to handle somebody who tries to present the information without the bells, the whistles, the sweepers, the sound, the lights, the gimmicks, the whole bit. You're not able to handle it. This is not something you do. You don't know what to say. What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? How am I don't know. No. Make me laugh. Give me the breaking news. Give me something. We're going to have to figure out a way to get people to be insatiable and to be curious. Because you can't have an insatiable curiosity if you're not even curious. We have to figure a way around this. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. I told you my dream is theoretically to have like a summer camp where we start off and we say we're gonna start off this. We're going to just get rid of everything there is, and we're going to start to look. We're going to ask you what it is that you believe, not what you watch, not whom you like. What do you believe? What are the tenets? What are the foundations of your philosophy? You do have a philosophy. Do you understand this? You do have a philosophy. And if you don't, we're going to give you one. Because too many people are going flower to flower to flower, kind of happy that Trump won and, to see the, interesting news. And I think it's interesting. It is interesting. Not completely. It's just like a garnish is good, but I can't live on a garnish. But MSDNC is slashing budgets. Joy Reid, they're going to cut her salary. That thing's going away. Now, am I happy because Joy Reid's going to go away? No. What I'm happy about is that ideology is going away. When an ideology, when a thought, when a pattern, when a music, when a fashion, when a food doesn't make any more money, it's gone. It loses its blood supply. It's amputated. And the reason why it's losing money is because the thought and the ideology have lost favor. This I can't say enough. That's the news. Most people, they'll say, I hate Joy Reid. Okay, fine. I hate Joy Behar. Oh, okay, fine. But she's just a little bit of the fruit of the tree that's producing this stuff. We got to go for the tree. Yeah. But I hate Joy Reid. Okay, good. No, I really don't. I know you do. You have Reid derangement syndrome. And when your ideology is focused towards a particular person, I suggest the problem wasn't Hitler. The problem was the ideology that fueled Hitler, that allowed Hitler. As you cut off the head and you still have this. I mean, it's simple. It's simple. You got to get to the root of something. You got to get to the very root. Now, coming up, I want to explain something to you, which is very interesting. We have a story that will blow you away regarding Mayorkas. I'm going to defend him. And you're not going to like this. And then you're going to say, oh, I understand it. Oh, okay, I understand it. And then we're going to talk about the latest regarding drones. And if there is any story that anybody completely got wrong, it's drones. But first, my friends, as we speak, with all of the riches and the billions everybody's making, there are so many people out there who are just drowning, being strangled by debt. They don't know what to do. And they don't want to hear how great you're doing. They don't want to hear about your particular largesse and your greatness. They want to know, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get out of this? And the answer might help you. And actually, I should say the answer might be a lot easier than you think, because it will help you. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Now, let's talk about one thing. Who is the baddest guy in the Biden administration? Who is the worst? Who? And the answer, one would say, probably Mayorkas. But it's not him, because I told you with the Hitler reference. He's only doing what he's allowed to do. He isn't the worst. He's doing exactly what they tell him to do. If Mayorkas did the opposite, he'd be gone. So you never have to, you can't blame the person who follows the lead. You can't. It's like if you don't like a restaurant and you don't like the way they seat, if you don't like the dress code, you can't blame the maitre d' or the person taking the front of the house. It's the management. So Mayorkas was asked the question about kids and trafficking. And I want you to listen. We're going to break this apart, and I'm going to tell you he's 100% correct with what he's saying. Don't get mad at him. Get mad at not Joe Biden, but the shadow government that runs the government.
ICE was also unable to account for more than 32,000 unaccompanied kids who failed to appear in court.
Check the affect, by the way. I'm not into body language. Please don't call it body language. It's not body language. It's called affect. And when you are doing a psych kind of a overview, if you do like a write-up, the person comes to see you, or if you're a lawyer and interviewing the client for the first time, or whatever it is, it's called the affect, the outer. How do they act? How do they look? Are they diffident? Are they strange? What is it? What are they doing? It's not body language. That's the word that drives me crazy. It's affect. So what do you look at? What does this guy at the left, he says, I'm out of here and I am set for life. I was a good soldier. I did exactly what I was told to do. I have done these. I have appeared before the toughest Senate. I have been screamed at by Cruz and by Josh Hawley, and I didn't do a thing. They didn't do anything to make me do anything, to change anything. Nothing. They don't do anything. The Republicans don't do anything. They are loud, John Kennedy, John, they just. So this guy on the left, he is, do you think this reporter on the right, or whoever she is from CBS, she's gonna what, outdo him? CBS? So right off the bat, he's sitting back, he's thinking, look at this, he says, I'm ready to go. Feet on the ground, ready to go. She's trying her best to look, like her not Betty Friedan, her, oh God. Remember the old, not Barbara Walters, but there were these old, I'm trying to think of these quote questioners. In any event, let's watch.
From 2019 to 2023, according to the report we read. The incoming border czar, Tom Homan, says these children are being exploited and trafficked. Is that true?
Look at this.
Well, we
Do you
certainly, Margaret, we certainly have received reports of children being trafficked, even those as to whom we know where they are. That is outside the responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security. What we do is we turn children over within 72 hours, as the law requires, to the Department of Health and Human Services.
See what he does? See that? It's not my job. Don't look at me. And he's right. I'm not in charge of. I'm DHS on this. I don't worry about kids or old people or the handicapped. We turn them over. So right off the bat, you got the wrong guy here. Now, if only they could have said, "Excuse me, there's a door open up. You have a surprise visit. Here's somebody from HHS. He's coming in and says, no, Tom, you're wrong. Whatever, Al, you're wrong." But anyway.
And then HHS places those children. Of course, we investigate cases of trafficking. But there are children who are reunited with a parent here in the United States.
That is true. There are kids. Don't know how many. No way to find out. Sure there are.
Or a legal guardian, and they move. And sometimes the government loses track.
Sometimes they come in and they successfully meet up with a family member, with a Tio Manuel, Tia Josefina, hey, it's me, Guadalupe, hey. And we lose track because, well, they're so happy reuniting with their family, moving on to a new life that, well, maybe we aren't the most diligent, but hey, nothing to worry about.
Individuals do not comply with their reporting obligations or otherwise. I think it is inaccurate to say that all of them are trafficked or victimized.
That's true. Nobody's saying that.
Why we might lose track of an individual. That is not necessarily specific to this administration.
That's true.
That has been a long-standing challenge in the immigration system. One example of why that system is so broken, why the duration of time in proceedings is unacceptably long and has to be remedied. Remember, we're dealing with a system that was last reformed in 1996.
So there you go. Now, what did that accomplish? Nothing. Tom Homan is going to say, Tom Homan's response would be that, yeah. I know. You have no idea. I know. What are you asking him this question for? What is the purpose? Now, you can talk about how weird he looks. He's strange. His affect. He's a liar. He's this. Okay. Maybe yes. Maybe no. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's exactly right. And here's what you should be upset about. Are you telling me that the Republicans just, whenever they're not in power, they can't do anything? I expect this from them. The Democrats told you, we're going to invade your borders. We're going to destroy border sovereignty. We're going to flood you with everything you can. We understand this. This guy is a professional. He's a stonewaller. You think this lady with the suit is going to what? The question we should be asking is, what good is the Democrat and the Republican Party? Now, let me go back to something else, which I'm going to say to you. And this is also critical. The drone business, okay? The drone business. Oh, before I forget, and I have not looked this up, and I will look this up, but I just made a note of this, and I want to say it. Is Dennis Prager doing okay? Remember he fell and hurt himself, and they said, please pray for Dennis Prager. And I just thought of this now, and I could stop and go looking around. I'm not following my own. I just thought perhaps maybe you would think about this. Now, let's talk about something. The drones. The drones were the example of a lot of people. As you know, there are people who live in our world on this side. And if I said to you, somebody said, describe your group. It's like, well, my group, my target, my audience, tends to be more older. I think they tend to be more Republican and conservative, certainly, and more appreciative of not conspiratorial, but behind the scenes history. Does that make any sense? Like, for example, they love to hear things about Operation, Paperclip or Ajax or Mockingbird or whatever the hell it is. They love things. They want to talk about chemicals in water sources that can convert frogs into being gay and all this stuff. They tend to be kind of conspiratorial of sorts. And what they love is the following. If you ever want to take, again, our genre, and we can take all of them from, just go down the list. I'm not going to mention them by name, but you know who I'm talking about. And you use the word psyop, false flag, distraction. Never use the word. We never use the word conspiracy. They use the word conspiracy. We never use it, ever. Never. Unless there's a criminal charge, a conspiracy to commit murder. But we never use it. It's like the mafia never uses the word mafia. That's a Sicilian term. It's never used in the United States. Never heard them on wiretaps. Nobody's talking about this thing of ours, Cosa Nostra, or whatever. But they never. So we never use that word, though we're referred to it constantly as talking about conspiracies. But our group loves this. And all you have to do is say, this is a false flag, black back. You can say whatever you want. There was one going on. I played it for you last night. A guy who said in 1954, there was an agreement signed a signed agreement with an alien. I don't know how he wrote, but he signed. Okay, he signed between Eisenhower and these aliens about this alien nation that by the year 2053, and our side eats this shit up because of the subject matter. And I'm saying, wait a minute, what? They love it. Oh my God, they love it. They love it like you can't believe. They love it at levels you can't believe. They love it. Tell me again. False flag. Oh, yes, yes. False flag. Yes. Deep state. Deep state. Yes. Is there any proof of it? I don't care. Just tell me again. So recently there were these things that say, this is a deep state psyop. The word psyop has meant, if we went into the bowels, the halls of Montezuma, if we went to NSA, nobody even talks about NSA anymore, DNI, all of them, and said, have you ever heard of psyops? Yes. Do you think of anything that happens? Well, I mean, it's all kind of a psyop, but no. Is there a division of psyops? I mean, not per se. Well, we know this. We know this. We know this. Let me give you an example. This is the way our side works. You pick the story. You want your numbers to rise? Okay. Let me tell you a story that's, and the story is that both stories are, the first one's correct. For example, this year, how many kids are missing, do you think, honey, from across the border? 500,000, 1 million, 2 million? How many?
Well, we say 500,000 plus, but it's probably
Okay, between 500 and 1 million kids unaccounted for are missing. Okay, and we don't know where they are. That's the end of the story. Now, they probably could very well be involved in trafficking and labor. Who knows? You understand what I'm saying? We don't know. We do not know. Cartels and bad people, listen to me carefully, do not tell us where they take these children. They don't. It's funny how that works. That's not going to get you anywhere in our business. This is a way where you tell the story. And there's one in particular, there's one woman who is perfect. I'm not going to mention her name, but she is the she is the template for this. I take that story, all right? I'm going to tell it this way without any facts whatsoever. These children are a part of ritualized satanic. Ooh, and you can see the ding, 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 ding. I have no evidence of this whatsoever. None. Let me go further. Ritualized satanic cults, cabals, covens, consortia, convocations, cadres, where they are used and placed in ceremonial certain harvesting of body parts, forced marriage, and I'm going to leave. We're going to be very careful here, and the harvesting of certain bodily humors, secretions, and the like, used in this mystical, magical world that we go crazy. Not we, but the group. Even though we don't know where this is, we've got no evidence of it. We just keep talking about it. It's like the unicorn. Like in my world, when I was a kid, the morphodite. I told you when I was a kid, we were told in the South, be careful of the morphodite. It's the boogeyman. It's this chimera. You mentioned that. If I said these kids are they are brought in tunnels and they're branded. Okay, I could just make this up. And people will say, did you hear him? You've got to hear him. I'm going to send you a thing. What is it? No, you got to hear him. They're taking, excuse me, who is he? It doesn't matter. Lenny, something. It doesn't matter. But he talks about, and the satanic. And by the way, there is something about, there are, believe it or not, in the world of certain types of kids, there used to be, and still is, brands, little tattoos. Absolutely. We saw one time at a like a FedEx type of place, and this girl happened to, no, we can't go up and say, excuse me, is that a brand of perfume? I don't know, but you tell this the right way. If I said, and these children are sent in furniture collections, the weirder, the stranger, doesn't follow so much for a UFO. That's a different group. But when it comes to this, you can have people who say, when I was a child, ready for this? Stop. When I was a child, Walter Brennan, what? I'm just making this up. Walter Brennan, my family sold me to Walter Brennan. What? Grandpa McCoy? Will Sonnet? Yep. And I was his satanic slave. Walter Brennan? Yes. Okay, that's where you and I would do it. In our group, we go, did you hear that? Walter Brennan. They sold him. What am I saying? The better the story, forget the facts, it doesn't really matter. The better the story, the more the ding, 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 the clicks. We got to stop this right away. We have got to say, if it's true, great. But these people I know said, and the drones. I've got people I know called up freaking out. I saw a drone. I say, for the love of God, yes, I understand that. But see what you're doing? But it lasted a week. Believe me, they weren't going crazy. Now, if I go on here and I say, I got to get my numbers up, I could talk about the drones. I could say, well, we don't really know anything. That's not going to work. But if that's the truth, we'll get to the bottom of this. And there was some information. The mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, said that there was a reference to, this is too iffy. Okay. Do it like this. An insider told me that they're looking for a downed nuclear, either a downed alien aircraft or craft or nuclear materials or China or something. And they're doing this under false flag, throwing false flag, PSYOP, whatever, but look for nuclear. Okay, that could be good. That might work. Any proof of that? Any proof that's what these drones are? No, there's no proof. But just say you talk to somebody. Say there was a high-level guy. Okay. How many people from the CIA, the ex from, I used to work with the CIA. Really? And I'm about to tell you, this is how and this, you were with the CIA? Yeah. And you're telling people this. Yeah. Okay. And I'm supposed to believe this. Well, of course. The CIA doesn't mind you saying this? No. The CIA knows you're doing this, doesn't it? Right? The CIA loves this. You are a limited hangout. You are a lone nut. If I represented the Catholic Church and I represented, let's assume, actual priests doing actual harm to actual children, at the very height of it, you know what I would do? Let's say I'm kind of a Segretti, Lee Atwater, kind of a, not Roger Stone, I respect, but I mean, if I really wanted to do it, I would get a lunatic and send him out and say, have a press conference about how you were a victim of the church. Somebody clearly crazy, clearly an alien, somebody who also was abducted, somebody who was, and I'm going to send him out. And people will always say, so this is an example of the case being made here? This is an example of the actual harm being done? This guy's a nut. Are they all nuts? No, but I want you to believe that. I want you to expand that. And I'm going to always refer to this guy. Oh, you mean like this guy? No, we have a new case of Saint Aloysius and the Trenton. You mean like that crazy guy? When you're inundated with all these ex-CIA, ex-operatives, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Delta Force, X, what does that do? You believe this? No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying, of course they were. They got caught. Here's my badge. Here I was. Here I am wearing a burnous, in the middle of some veteran. Look at me. I'm Charlie Wilson. But do you understand what's happening here? Do you have the ability to deconstruct a story? Do you have the ability, when you take it, do you know how to take the cellophane off and go open and then crack open the fortune cookie and then pull out the thing and say, that's what it is? If I give a fortune cookie to somebody who doesn't know what the hell it is, and you say, what is this? This is cellophane. Let's assume they're from another, planet, or they've been in the. I said, this is cellophane. This keeps it fresh. Okay, is that it? No, not yet. What is this? This is the fortune cookie. Do I eat it? No, wait. Crack it open. Okay, there it is. It's like, what do you call those Russian, the little doll inside the doll inside the doll? I know what I'm talking about. I know people, and especially when it comes, and you're going to love this, when it comes to diet. Oh my God. Tell them what they want to hear. I have a study that shows that actually sobriety is not, but being drunk protects you from certain cancers. I promise you, there is a study somewhere that says that alcoholics don't get earlobe cancer or something. I promise you. There was a study years ago that said, I think women who smoked ever had lower incidence of ovarian cancer, whatever it was. What am I saying? My goal is always, remember, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a social media person. I'm ABC, I'm NBC. I got to get followers. I got to get numbers. I got to get likes. And I'm only going to do whatever it takes to find that combination for you to like what I'm doing. And if my painstaking, careful reporting doesn't work, I'm going to say a person that I don't know. I talked to somebody. Prove I didn't talk to somebody high order. Why are they telling you? Imagine somebody standing before the world saying, I used to work with the CIA, DNI, whatever it is, and I'm telling you that in 1963, there was a landing and the craft is, and the CIA is involved. Somebody says, is he doing this again? Yeah. Yeah. Is this true? No. Good. Let him talk. Let him talk. I had somebody say something to me one time. I'll never forget this. You ever hear people say, Alex Jones, set up. What? Set up. He's a front. He's a shield. He's a work. He's whatever. And I'll never forget somebody said this to me. He said, if Alex Jones was telling the truth, he wouldn't be allowed to live. And I said, you know what? There's something to be said for that. If he really, really, really honest to God said, oh, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what's going on here. They wouldn't let him talk. Something would just happen to him. I said, but yeah, but no matter what, well, look at who was it? Not Helms, Colby. Remember him? CIA head? They got him real good. But not everybody gets hit. Not everybody gets, you know what I mean? I don't know how this thing works. But what I'm telling you, and this is going to be difficult for you to do. This is your New Year's resolution. I know we're getting ahead of the game here. But you've got to disabuse yourself of what you want to be true and what is true. There is absolutely no evidence, none. I mean, you can find here and here that, for example, childhood trauma will take an otherwise normal, quote, heterosexual young man, childhood trauma, let's say untoward, something inappropriate with, a priest or somebody or a father, some kind of disconnected, super dominant mother, submissive, non-existent father, blah, 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 blah. That will take a normal, quote, born heterosexual and convert them into a homosexual, a term we don't use anymore. Now, you might say, well, it makes sense to me. Not if your predisposition is to think there is. No way. If I told you there is absolutely no evidence that prayer works to cure anything, you're going to say that's ridiculous. Why? Because you want prayer to cure things. You are going to discount it. You don't even want to hear it. And I'm just making this up. I'm not telling you there is. We're biased. You got to understand why you know. How do you know what you know? Why do you know what you know? You're not looking, you're just, you just want to get inside that fortune cookie. And I'm saying, look at what you're doing. Look at this. I don't want to look at, tell me, give me the bottom line. I like the way I feel. I like your version of reality. Let me give you an example of something. But before I do, this is about drones. This is gonna tell you everything. This is gonna tell you everything. But before I tell you this, remember, you better listen very, very carefully. I think people understand, there's a lot of things we can live without. Food is not one of them. Preparewithlionel.com. People have this idea that if ever there's any kind of a problem involving food, one guy, I never forget, he says, I got a fishing pole. And let's assume there's a complete and total breakdown. Let's say there's a supply chain backup for the next 6 months. Let's say the dock workers pick up the strike January 15th, which they said they would. Let's say the Teamsters go crazy. Let's say there's another BLM attack, natural disaster, some kind of interruption. Stores are closed. People freak out. Insurance companies, tell their insureds, listen, you better close. Costco, Trader, there are people swarming there. We cannot risk multi-million-dollar liability of people trampling each other because of this. So you close everything. And then one closes, and then the next one closes, and the next one, and then the local news people start reporting. Isn't that fascinating how we're closing? Okay. People say, but I've got a fishing pole. Daddy, I'm hungry. Just you wait, Tad. Old angler Dad's going to go out there to the creek, and I'm going to get us some bream. There we go. Don't worry, son. People are yelling, screaming, yay, there's no food. Not for me. Oh, there we go. And you have that little that straw basket. The guy, do you ever see Tucker? Tucker even makes, I love Tucker. But when he does that fly fishing stuff, it's like, are you kidding me? He looks like, it's like, this looks like one of those, remember those Orvis? Was that how the Orvis cat? Remember the Orvis catalogs where they go out there and the waiters go, what is this shit? This, with the hat and the basket. Anyway, that ain't going to work. You need food. You need food that you can last for 25 years, 6-level layered reusable pouches in reusable buckets. Prepare with Lionel.com. They've got a 3-month monster deal. Do it right now. Just go and look for yourself and look at what's available. Please, you're not going to go out in the middle of a shelter in place and go down to the creek and look for some scad or whatever the hell it is. And by the way, one more time, you've got 2 days until Christmas. I don't know what to tell you. But if you didn't go to mypillow.com and you didn't load up with pillars and socks and towels and comforters and duvets and dog pillows, Mike Lindell, mypillow.com. Have you ever seen all the stuff that's available? Go there, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. You go there. You go, girl. You go, girl. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Now, let me go back to this. And this is incredible. Oh, look who it is. Pilgrim Media said, do follow Peter Zeihan on various platforms. Why do I do that? Why? With all due respect. Pilgrim, follow Ignaz Semmelweis, who, by the way, was a guy who said wash soap. Why? Just do it. Ignaz Semmelweis. Why is that? Just do it. Can you tell me about him? No. Yeah, but who's Ignaz? Just do what I say. Why? Because I follow him. But what is he? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. But don't you think you should tell me? Yeah, I could. But I'm not. Just do what I say. Just follow him. Okay. All right. Is he any good? I don't know whether he's any good. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Just do what I say. Okay. I love when people send me these, how do I say this? How do I say? And Mrs. L loves them. Oh, especially. Some lunatic will say something, which is what I said initially. They're bringing kids in at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they're making the secret spices are made from the hair of the. It's like, what are you talking about? That's the stuff that gets people's attention. Okay, let me tell you this much. Did you hear this story? This is terrible. This is the drone show in Orlando. During a holiday drone show at Lake Eola Park in Orlando, several drones collided and fell into the crowd, seriously injuring a 7-year-old boy who is now in critical condition. I thought maybe he was fighting for his life after undergoing open heart surgery. The incident occurred on Saturday night, leading to cancellation of a subsequent planned drone show. FAA is currently investigating the mishap. Now, let me show you what this looks like. And I'm going to show you this. Sam Whiskey says, it's 11 o'clock at night in America. Do you know where your drone is? It's very funny you should say that. There's nothing funny about this at all. But I want you to look at this. Look at how, and this is the only, I think, picture available. Look at how disorganized this is.
Underwater.
First of all, stop right there. What is this? This looks like, remember the Chinese drones? The Chinese drones are, of course, the gold standards. Look at these things are like falling, and I don't know how many drones are there, and I don't know who organized this. I don't know what I guess the pattern is. This a Christmas tree? I don't know what this is, but right off the bat, and this is not. I'm not laughing about this, but wait till chaos ensues.
Fell in the water.
Look at this. Watch this.
Oh no! I don't think they're supposed to be falling.
I don't think they're supposed to be falling. Now, let me ask you something. How much do you want to bet that there is going to be absolute mandatory legislation in the immediate future to ban, limit the flight of, whatever you want to call it, drones and drone? How much do you think? What is going to happen? What's going to happen from that? And the fact that this hasn't happened because somebody somewhere saw what they did in China and said, we can do whatever we want. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think? It's an AI Venus flytrap? I guess that's funny. I don't know what that is. But anyway, lockdown soon. Oh, we have no idea what they are. Mask up. Don't think that isn't crazy. 100% military use on horizon. What does that mean? Why do you think, Jeff? Why do you think that would be 100% military use on the horizon? What does that mean? Here's my favorite. Lots of ads here. Would somebody explain to Mimi the idea of advertising and how we live in a world of ads, revenue? Somebody give Mimi a call. Mimi, leave your number, honey. Maybe we need to help you. I don't know if you were born in the 20s, like not the 1920s, but a lot of people say there's advertising here. It's my favorite. There's another one too I've got. So what do you think? What do you think? Blue beam on the rise. Great beyond. Great. Do you know what blue beam was? But the use of holographic images to recreate the second coming of Jesus? This isn't blue beam. You understand this? Martial law. Marshall. Marshall Tucker, Marshall Dillon. Martial law is the last thing left for the left. Why do you think martial law would come from a bad drone display in Orlando? If these drones are the future of our military, we are screwed. By the way, Pierino Fanculo. Funniest thumbnail picture of it is. Blue Beam Project. Great beyond, I just said, do you know what Blue Beam was? It wasn't that. You said Blue Beam was the use of holographic imagery to create in the minds of people that there was the second coming of God. Do you understand that? It's not Blue Beam. It's that you're using the wrong term. That's become, like people use the word false flag. And others use conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. No, that's not Blue Beam. Have you looked up Blue Beam? Have you researched Blue Beam? No. But that, you think, well, kind of means something like lights maybe, or there's a blue beam. I mean, but watch what happens. This is the part which is the most important thing in the world. I mean, but the thing is, it may not be much of anything. It may not be anything. It may be something. I'm just saying, look at what's happening. Do me a favor and please spend some time watching and going back and look at what am I trying to say? Fireworks disasters. Spend some time. This poor Mimi, he doesn't know war. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. We are all the messengers. I have no idea. This is a lot of advertising here. Poor Mimi. Mimi goes to Broadway play. I'm looking at the playbill. Yeah, a lot of ads for restaurants here. I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on. There's all these ads. You know, I go on TV. Look at this magazine. Look at this. Look at this ad. Look at these ads. What is this? I was watching the TV and they're running. You know that they have this thing called the Super Bowl, and they spend all this money on advertising. Don't tell Mimi. Why? Well, because Mimi, people actually used to watch the commercials on the Super Bowl. What? Yeah. When? For years. You're kidding me. No, we really truly. What? Oh. So anyway, there's always that. Yep. There's poor Mimi. What are these billboards? What is going on here? Why don't we just give away stuff for free? And why is there a sign on top of the restaurant? I don't like these signs. Well, we have to know what's going on. I don't want the sign. I want to just telepathically know where I'm going. There's something that is so funny about people who have no idea what they're talking about, but feel like just saying, hey, it's hot in here. Hot in here. It's hot. It's August. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Got to say something. So here's what's going to happen regarding the drones. I don't know what's going to happen regarding it. But there's going to be, I promise you, some how about that Congresswoman Mace making fun of Trey Gowdy? Look, Trey Gowdy's a weird guy, but Trey, she's kind of suggesting Trey might be I don't want to do that anymore, but either trans or whatever. I mean, can we keep it a little civil? Same thing with that old Captain Bly Crenshaw there. Why do we have to get so vicious on this? I mean, this is just... But watch what happens. Watch what happens next. You're going to be hearing this. And there's going to be this call for drone control. And maybe somebody will say, that might have been the reason initially for this. But again, I'm always assuming that the deep state or the police state have some kind of ulterior motive. In any event, my friend, Sam Whiskey, thank you. Pilgrim Media. Let me also tell you that today at what time, honey? 4? 4:30. Be on the lookout. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warrior. She's going to be doing a live Christmas special. Please, you're going to want to be a part of this when I tell you that. It's one of the best. So that's coming up at 4. Make sure you follow this. We got a bunch of stuff coming on. I have a live... I'm not live, a private channel. I'm just finishing up because you can say whatever you want. You don't have to worry about any words. You don't have to say anything. There's no algorithms because sad to say, whatever. Anyway, but that's the way that is. Anyway, you have a wonderful day. It's about 18 degrees right now, colder than a well digger's ass. And it's a pleasure being with you. Have a wonderful time. Tonight we're going to be talking about Musk derangement syndrome. Make sure you follow. Make sure you are subscribed. Are you subscribed to the newsletter? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to tell you this. Are you subscribed? It is absolutely today's. They are crank. And you know what else? I forgot to tell you this. When people sign up and I send the newsletter out, I immediately get this list back from people saying, I'm out of work. I won't be here. I won't reach. Or one guy said, I'll return on December the 9th. He still had this up. This was the response. Nobody's in their office. I'm out of the office right now. I'm not here. If you need anything, call so-and-so. I think these people are pretending they're someplace. The lovely and talented Laura says, a festive and fabulous Christmas to you and Mrs. L. Thank you, Laura. You are so incredibly sweet and kind, and we appreciate your thoughts immensely. Let me also tell you again, my friends, that you are to watch Hang on. You were to watch. Here we go. The newsletter. Sign up right now. I was on yesterday with my good friend Sean Atwood. Sean always sometimes has these wonderful people on who mean so well, and they're wonderful people. He brought on a young lady who I tried to give my advice. I love when you give an advice and nobody listens to you. It's like, okay, all right, don't listen to me. What do I know? In any event, that's coming up later. So listen, folks, you have a great and a glorious time. Thank you so much. You are the reason God made Oklahoma. Thank you. Be warm. Have a great, 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 great day. Remember, listen carefully. Don't fall for this. Just because we believe that there is a behind-the-scenes story to virtually all news stories doesn't mean that we necessarily believe everything that is presented or everything that is exciting by design. That makes sense? Okay. Have a great day, my friends. Don't ever forget these wonderful words. God bless you. God bless America. God bless President Trump and MAGA. Don't forget, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. And until later, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.